Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Come on, Boobs. Boobs said, I'm gonna come over there and sit with you. It is 4:15 p.m. And we've just been hanging out here today. We just got inside from running around. Were you running around outside? Were you having a good time? He said, I always have a good time running around, Dad. I was sniffing and I was smelling stuff. I was smelling all the dogs in the neighborhood. And then I got to eat my lunch earlier. And we got to sleep in. So yeah, he's had a real good day today. And we went to bed super early last night. Well, not super early, but Alex was watching The Crown. And so I was trying to fall asleep while he was watching The Crown. I got into bed about 11:45. And then Alex, he turned off the TV about 1. And I was kind of like drifting in and out between when I got into bed and 1 o'clock. So we went to bed about 1, didn't we, Boobs? Yeah, and we slept in today. Got up, did a bunch of stuff around the house. Kind of just enjoyed relaxing and not doing a whole lot. It was kind of comfy. And it was nice. And I filmed a drama video and I filmed a review video. Oh, that's what I did last night. So when I got home from going to the meeting, I got Tanya and I went to the gas station and I got a bunch of snacks. And so I was sitting here and I was eating my snacks and I watched the last 2 episodes of Welcome to Chippendales and I finished that. It's my first finished show of 2023. My first finished watched TV show. You are so cute. You know that? You are so cute. The woman outside that was just walking her dog, she was like, is that a new dog? I said, nope. His hair's just long. He needs a haircut. You are so cute. But, so I finished those 2 episodes, and then that's when I got into bed with Alex, and went to bed early. Slept so good last night. Yesterday I was so tired, but today I feel very rested, and even though I just yawned, I feel very rested and just calm and peaceful today. I feel really good today. So we have marriage counseling tonight at 6, and it's currently 4:17, so this is not going to be a long vlog. Because I need to get off here and take a shower and get ready. I might actually take a shower when I get home. What are you doing, huh? Are you exploring? You look like you're getting ready to go exploring. He said, yep, I'm going to explore. I just made some coffee not too long ago. It's still warm. Are you finding your spot, honey? Oh. So yeah, I came home last night and I ate my treats and I watched the last 2 episodes of Welcome to Chippendales. And then that's when I got into bed and I kind of relaxed. And while Alex was watching The Crown, I was in and out. He's obsessed with that show right now. He's binge watching it. And so I was in and out while he was watching. He finished an episode and then he said he was going to go to bed and then he goes, oh, I want to watch one more episode. And I was like, well, watch one more episode if you want. So we watched one more episode and that was at 12 or something like that. So he ended up turning it off at 1. And that's when we went to sleep, didn't we, Boobs? Last night was great. After I got done vlogging, I took a shower and got dressed and stuff. And Alex took me over to Tanya's. And then Tanya and I went to this meeting. We had never been to this meeting before. And so this meeting is 3 Sundays of the month. It's a closed discussion meeting. So if you don't know about 12-step programs, there's open and closed meetings. Open meetings mean that anybody can come. You don't have to be an alcoholic or an addict. Closed meetings are closed just to alcoholics and addicts. And so 3 Sundays a month, it's a closed discussion meeting where they break up into groups. And 1 Sunday a month, it's an open meeting where they have somebody come and give their lead or share their story, which is what Tanya one of our friends asked her to, he was chairing last night, and so he asked if she would come and share her story. And so it was great. It was a really great meeting. I saw a couple people I hadn't seen in a long time. I saw a friend of mine that I hadn't seen. I think the last time I saw her was when I was giving my lead, like a Friday night, like 2 or 3 years ago. And a bunch of us all went together, and I saw her at that meeting, and I saw her last night. Saw a couple other people that I knew. It was a good meeting, and I think I might go back to it sometime. I liked it. And so anyway, Tanya did a fantastic job. She got me crying a bunch while she was talking about stuff, and she did a wonderful job. I was very proud of her, and such an honor to be there, and have her ask me to be there with her while she shared her story. So then afterwards she took me home, and we stopped at the gas station, and she got a fountain pop and some Doritos, and I got a bunch of crap. And what else? So yeah, so that was like my night last night. It was really not that exciting. And then today I got up, and like I said, Boo and I slept in, and just have been doing stuff around the house. And then I filmed a drama video. I filmed a review video of Welcome to Chippendales, and I think that's it. You know what I just realized? I think I need to, hold on just a second, because I think I transferred this. I did. Okay, we're back. I went over to the computer, and I started uploading the videos that I needed to upload, and it like took me so long, and I was like not talking to the camera, and so finally I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna stop this. And so I don't even know when I stopped it or whatever, but I'll probably just like merge it together with when I started walking over there, because yeah, it ended up taking me like 10 minutes or something like that to like get these videos up. And then I had to make a thumbnail for my Chippendales video. And I was like, oh gosh, like this is just ridiculous at this point. So anyway, I didn't want to make you guys wait. I literally was just like typing in the computer, and I wasn't talking. My friend Valerie, she hates on the vlogs when I do that. She's like, less work. So anyway, I'm just going to edit all of that part out, and I will just leave that. Boo Radley is like so fascinated with the camera tonight. He's like looking at, what do you see? Do you see all the people on the other end? Look at his little paws, how sweet they are. Little paws. You have the sweetest little paws. Down for a little bit. I don't know if I started saying this before I walked over there, or if I was saying it when I walked over there or whatever, but I got a comment on the video, and it was from somebody that was watching like the very first vlog that I ever did, and it started like in this living room right here, and it was from New Year's Eve 7 years ago. And somebody asked me about Alex's cousin Nina. They said, whatever happened to Nina? Like, she's never been in any vlog since, and she's so funny, and which I haven't watched that vlog in forever, so I don't remember what Nina says in there, but Nina is still very much around. So Nina is Alex's other cousin. So Alex's mom has a sister and a brother, and Alex's so his aunt, that's where his cousin Maya, so Maya is Alex's first cousin from his aunt. And then Nina is his uncle's daughter. And Nina lives she lives like downtown San Francisco. And she's very hippie-ish and very cool. And she works for like a Latino community center. And she teaches like cultural dance and music, and she like picks up an instrument like every 2 months and like teaches herself, and it just is like unbelievable. And she like started playing violin, and like within like a month was like playing on stages with people and like doing all these dances. She does like a lot of choreography, but it's not like choreography like you would think. It's like Venezuelan like traditional dancing. Like she teaches herself a lot of like traditional like Latino dancing and things like that, and she's really into the culture behind like the music and the dance, and so yeah, and she just lives a very cool life, and she travels a lot, And so she's all over the place, and she comes here about once a year and visits. And she and Alex's mom are super, super close. Alex and Nina are really, really close too, but she's very cool, and she's just one of those people that she just has such a good spirit and just such a good soul, and she's so caring and so kind and just really cares about people, and you can see it in everything that she does, and she's just a really, really neat person. It's funny how when you're with somebody for so long, like how people change within the families. It's like when I started dating Alex 14 years ago, his brother Fufu, Juan, was 15 at the time. He's 29 now. And so it's crazy. Like, I can remember him like being this skater kid in high school, that wore like beanie caps and, just wanted to hang out with his friends all the time. And he's so different than, obviously, but he's so different than that now. And I can remember him like in college and like after college, and like, he and his girlfriend Jessie, they like went on this 3-month excursion where they saved all their money, and they went cross country, and they like hiked and camped out at places, and they were really trying to find the next city that they wanted to live in. And they went through Colorado and all these different places, and then they got to San Diego, and they were just like, we love San Diego, which is why they decided to land in San Diego, And then, my brother-in-law Carlos, it's like, he's changed so completely. Obviously didn't have any kids and stuff like that when I first met him and whatnot. And then, Nina, she was in school at IU Bloomington at the time that I met her. And I remember the very first time that I ever met her, she was doing this like dance. She's always been into this like traditional kind of dancing. And so we went to go see, it was like the whole family went to Bloomington, and we went and saw this like show that she did, and we went out to dinner afterwards, and it was really fun. And yeah. And Maya lived in Indianapolis at the time when I started dating Alex, and she was hilarious. We went out with her all the time, and now Maya lives, she lived in Los Angeles for a while, and now she lives in Las Vegas. And, Alex's mom is getting ready to move to Spain, and it's crazy how, and Alex's other cousin, Maya's sister, lives here now. And it's just like, it's crazy, to think, how much has changed, through the years. My aunt and uncle are not here anymore. Caroline's son David is 21, which is just like crazy to me. I remember when he was born, and it's crazy how time changes, and not always in sad ways, it's like, I think it's cool to be with, I was thinking about this last night when I was listening to Tanya's lead. Tanya and I have been friends for over 25 years, and it's a long time. It's a long time to be friends with somebody, and, she was sharing all these things that had happened in her life and talking about these different things. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I remember that, and I was here for this, and all these, moments in her life that I had the privilege to be next to her and be her friend, and be there for her, and all the moments in my life that she was able to be there for me. And, I remember when my mom passed away, I had this immense feeling of, that this idea that my mom was able to give birth to me, but then I was also able to be there when she died, and what that we had shared like this, and she had been there for me from that moment, through my entire life. Like, she was the person that had been next to me my entire life, and what this magically miraculous thing that was, and what an honor and what a privilege it was to be able to be part of somebody's, entire life. Like, that's pretty magical, and And I don't take it for granted. And I think that's why I say in my videos, like, those people that we give moments of our lives to, whether it's, you know, a minute or an hour or whatever, we're literally giving people, whether who we watch on YouTube or who we talk to on the phone or where we work or who we have dinner with or who we spend our time with, we're literally giving those people parts of our life. You know, we really are, you know? And I don't just give parts of my life away. I don't just like throw that away easily anymore. Like, it really, you know, I don't have tons of people in my life anymore. And, you know, I look at my phone and it's like, sometimes like it'll be like 3 days and I haven't received a text message or a phone call, and I'm okay with that, you know, because the people that I do have in my life today, like, we really mean something to each other. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for these relationships that I've built over time, and they haven't just been built, you know. Where do you want to sit, sweetheart? They haven't just been built overnight. Oh, I just spilled this coffee on my lap. They haven't just been built overnight. You know, they took time to build, and but I'm grateful for them, and they weren't easy. Like, I look at them too, you know, like there were times in all of my friendships where, you know, I had to say, or they had to say, like, okay, my feelings were hurt. Can you do this differently? Or, you know, like, maybe next time, like, you know, whatever. It's like, you know, I think that's part of relationships is, you know, like, I'm trying to think of an example because I don't want to call anybody out. But, you know, it's just like, you know, things where it's like, I don't know. It's just like, you know, we get our feelings hurt from time to time in friendships. And I think, you know, it's important to be able to have the freedom to have those conversations and not say, well, you're a bad friend because of this, but to say my feelings were hurt, and for the other person to say, well, I don't want to hurt your feelings because you matter to me. What can I do differently in the future? You know, and I'm able to have those conversations with my friends today. But, you know, most of the friendships that I've had for a longevity of time. So we don't really need to have those conversations today because we had those conversations, you know, towards the beginning of our friendships. And so we kind of understand each other today. But if I needed to, or if I, you know, felt like whatever, or they felt a certain way, we would be able to have those conversations, you know, and I don't know. It was cool being there for Tanya last night, and, you know, and then of course, you know, she said some things about me in her share, and she's, you know, and to hear her perspective of our friendship, I think is always interesting too, to hear other people's, you know, perspective, because you have your own point of view, you know, but to then hear other people's point of views too. And I think this as well is like, you know, one of the things that Alex and I were talking about on this trip was, well, okay, I want to say this first. I don't think that most of us in life, well, I guess I should just speak for myself, but I don't often, like with my friends or whatever, right? Like, it's not like on a daily basis. I mean, Tanya and I will be like, when we get off the phone with each other, love you, you know, whatever. But it's not like we'll say to each other, I just want you to know that I really appreciate you. Like, you mean so much to me, and I'm so grateful that you're in my life. On a somewhat regular basis, we might say something like that, but it's kind of overkill if you say it on a regular basis, right? I mean, so nobody says that, I think, a lot. But I do think it's important to say it enough that people know it, you know, and know that your friendship means something and that you matter to people, and that they matter to you. I think that that's important. You know, like Alex and I were talking about, like, meeting other couples on this trip. One of the coolest things for me on meeting other people was when we would talk to them, you know, we would talk to them about the dogs, and we would talk to them about our house, or we would talk to them about, like, other trips that we had taken. And it was like we were sharing together stories of our life. And it was really cool that this thing that we've built, this marriage that we've built, this life that we've built together, that we were able to share and talk about that with other people, you know, and be like really proud of this marriage and this relationship that we've built together, you know. And it was interesting because like with every couple that we talked to, which seemed pretty happy, you know, most of them were like, yeah, marriage isn't easy, you know, like that was kind of this consistent like theme that we would all talk about, you know, marriage isn't easy and you have to go to therapy or you have to like, you know, I just, it's interesting in talking to so many couples, you know, and how many people that I know that have gone to therapy or, you know, and I think that needs to be more normalized or in discussing their issues or whatever. And I think it's sad, you know, Alex and I to this day still know people that are currently going through problems, and it's like, you know, with relationships, and it breaks my heart. And I'm like, I just want to, I'm like on the sidelines, you know, like shouting, like fight for it, because it matters, you know, it really does. And it's worth it, you know. The payoff in the end is so valuable, you know, of what you have. And it can seem so painful. I can remember at times, you know, really before we got into marriage counseling the first time, but, you know, going through stuff, I'm looking at this picture of Tucker and Pee-Pee and Boo Radley that I got Alex for Christmas. It's sitting over there. And I can remember like us like, I wouldn't say like they were like heated arguments. It was kind of almost towards the end, right before we got into counseling. They were pained arguments. And I can remember the dogs just like being on the bed and being like, you could just tell like, I don't know, the whole situation I look back on, it's just kind of sad. And we were just in this situation where I was pretty convinced that we were going to get divorced, you know? I was pretty convinced that it was done. I mean, my husband went and looked at an apartment. I don't know if I've talked about that on here. Alex and I were just talking about it the other day because I said, you know, it makes me so happy that, I mean, I think that was the lowest point for me, was when he came home and I was like, where were you tonight? And he just kind of looked at me and he broke down, and I said, where were you? And he was like, I went and I looked at an apartment. And I said, you did what? I mean, this was right before we got into marriage counseling. And he said, I went and I looked at an apartment. And he was like, I don't know what else to do. And I was really resistant to getting into marriage counseling. I was like, oh God, what's going to come out? Like, I don't want to talk about these things. It's too painful. It hurts too much. And it was almost kind of like I was resigned to the fact to just give up, because giving up was easier. You know, and I look back on that and it's like, we just came back from this amazing vacation. You know, we lay in bed and we laugh at night. We share stuff with each other. We don't have, I wouldn't say, the best relationship in the entire world, but we have a really damn good relationship. I love my husband. I mean, Tanya and I were talking about it last night, and I said, she's like, isn't it great when after all of this and after everything you've been through, you know, you look at your husband and you'd still pick him? And I'm like, that's exactly what it is, you know? I very much am in love with my husband, and I know that he is very much in love with me because he says so, you know, and or at least I hope he is, you know. And that doesn't mean that we're not going to face difficulties in the future. But when I think about how far we've come and that we really had to go through some difficult times to get there, it's really what makes it all worth it in the long run, you know? And I think there are a lot of people out there that are just afraid of doing the work. And I get it. I was afraid to do the work. I was afraid of what was going to come out. I was afraid of sharing and talking about it. I didn't want to do it, you know? And I can remember when we first got into marriage counseling, like Alex was the one that did a lot of talking at first. And I just was kind of like, I was shut down. And, I just wasn't convinced that it would work. And, you know, I can remember my sponsor, you know, she had said that if she was going to go to counseling, she was going to get her money's worth. And that just kind of at some point, like, I heard that and it like clicked. And I was like, okay, let's get your money's worth. As petty as that sounds, you know. And then I started talking and things started changing. And it wasn't necessarily easy at all for me, you know. But I look back on that and I think, wow, saying all this as I'm getting ready to go to marriage counseling tonight. But I look back on all that and I think, and you know, going to marriage counseling today is so that we still do have the wonderful trips and the dinners and the laying in bed at night and the kisses on the cheeks in the morning and, you know, the hand holding in the car and all that kind of stuff, because it's sometimes, you know, like you got to keep all that going, you know, you got to keep the conversation going. You got to keep the communication going. It's important, you know? And, so I'm real grateful for it. How did I get on this tonight? I don't know. But I will say this. I need to get off here and I need to start getting ready so that I've got, it's 4:48. So I've got to get off here so that I can call my Uber here in just a little bit and be ready in time to get to my marriage counseling session. A shower is out now, so I'm gonna take a shower when I get home, which is totally fine. I'll take a shower and put my pajamas on for the evening and watch some, I think I might watch the Knives Out movie tonight because I've been kind of like waiting to watch that. We'll probably get some kind of food. Well, we have Salt Lake City too, so we might get some kind of food on the way home and bring it home, or we might go somewhere and eat after. We sometimes after our sessions go somewhere to eat, like Cheesecake Factory or something, so we might do that. But anyway, I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Monday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you want. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but shh, don't tell anyone. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much... My throat is like tickling all of a sudden. I don't know why. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. You might just be changing their day or putting a smile on their face. Why is my throat tickling so bad all of a sudden? And also, remember to be kinder to one another, love one another a little bit more, and be kinder and love yourselves a little bit more. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!